This is how to prepare for the entrance exam. I'm Mr. Moran, the St. Francis principal. This is our first time doing an online exam, so we may not be able to answer every question that you have. It is our belief that the HSPT is only one part of the admissions process. We will be monitoring students who are taking the exam through Zoom. You will receive the Zoom link with other important information a few days before the test. Your device must have a high-speed, reliable internet connection, web browser, camera, and a microphone. If you're testing on an iPad or Chromebook, you will need a second device in order to access our Zoom meeting. You must apply no later than Wednesday, January 20th at noon so that we can register you and then send you the necessary information so that you can test. Once you receive the testing information, we recommend taking a practice test, and you will see there is another step that has to be done before the exam. Now, we will be reviewing your scores on this exam in conjunction with other standardized tests you have taken in your school. If your score on this exam is inconsistent, our admissions committee will note it. Some general testing instructions: you will not be permitted to use a cell phone, wearable technology, nor a calculator during the test. You should disable your pop-up blocker, be seated comfortably at a table or desk, and try to limit distractions. You must complete the test in the time frame set by St. Francis and HSPT. You will only be able to view one question at a time. Actually, that's an advantage to you because there is no danger of misbubbling. You will be able to choose whether to show the time remaining in a section or whether you would prefer to hide it. Each subtest begins with sample questions for that section. As far as guessing, there's no penalty for incorrect responses, so we recommend that you eliminate answers you know are wrong and then make an educated guess. You must stay in each subtest until the time is up or until you hit finish. Once you hit finish, you will not be allowed to go back within that section. Your work will be saved in case you lose internet access or you accidentally exit. Breaks are determined by the HSPT manual, and they too are timed. Now, ordinarily, we require an essay that is done at the time of the exam. Due to the circumstances this year, that will not be an expectation. As far as admissions, your admission will be based on your transcript, and that is your grades, attendance, effort, and citizenship, your standardized test scores, both the HSPT and the ones you take in your own school, teacher recommendations, and the notes from your interview. We will mail you the results of this exam along with our admissions letters on March 5th. If you choose to have your exam results forwarded to another school, you need to email our registrar. Her information is included on this panel. We will be requesting your transcripts from your school immediately after the exam. You will not need to do that. You also do not need to request teacher recommendations. They will also automatically be sent to your current school, but you can send in others if you choose. The exam will open at 8:30 on Saturday, January 23rd, and will be concluded by 12:15, except for students who have qualified for extended time. You'll receive an email the week of February 1st that indicates your interview time and location, and financial aid applications must be completed online by January 31st. You can access that through the St. Francis website. Now, the high school placement test consists of 5 sections. The first is verbal skills. It will test your ability to use and apply language skills you've acquired. You will have 18 minutes, that's 1/8, to complete 60 multiple choice questions that cover synonyms, antonyms, analogies, sentence logic, and verbal classification. The second section is quantitative skills. That will test your ability to use and apply quantitative skills you've acquired, and it is through word problems. You will have 30 minutes to complete 52 multiple choice questions in the categories of number series, geometric comparisons, non-geometric comparisons, and number manipulation. The next section is reading comprehension. It will test your ability to recall and display reading comprehension skills. You will have 25 minutes to complete 62 multiple choice questions covering main idea, details, and vocabulary. The next section is math. That will test your ability to recall and display your math skills. In that section, you will have 45 minutes to complete 64 multiple choice questions covering basic math like fractions, decimals, percentage, estimation, and word problems. Basic algebra, including solving one-variable equations, and basic geometry, including Pythagorean geometry, lines, angles, area, perimeter, and volume. And the final section is language skills. It's a basic section, and you will be asked to recall and display language skills. You will be given 25 minutes to complete 60 multiple choice questions covering capitalization, punctuation, spelling, usage, and composition. And in some cases, you will be determining which answers are in error. Once you receive the information from St. Francis, you will have to retrieve your student ID and password. This is before the test day. We will provide you with your test code that is required for this step. You will log in, enter your test code, student ID, and password, and click Log In. That's the morning of the test. It's only available during the date and time determined by St. Francis. So if you try and log in before that, you will get an error message. The day of the test, you will see the student information and code of conduct. Now, your student information will be pre-populated, and it should appear automatically. It will include your name, birth date, gender, and your parents' email. Note, if you have a long last name, the test only allows a certain number of characters to be entered, so your entire name may not be displayed. You do not need to enter a high school choices code, your address, nor your current school. That is what that page will look like, and again, you are just going to verify that the pre-populated information is correct. You do not need to add your home address, high school choices, nor your phone number. You will need to answer the code of conduct, and I want to go through that for a moment. It indicates that you will test in a location free from distractions and disruptions, that you will test alone for the entire exam and not communicate with anyone in any way other than the proctor. It indicates you will remain on this website only and will not use other application or browser windows during the test, that you will not use any other electronic device like a calculator or cell phone, computers, or wearable technology. It also indicates that you will not use any notes, books, or other testing aids other than a pencil and blank piece of paper. And you must commit to not copying or forwarding any test item details to any other person by any means. That is through verbal, written, copying, saving, printing, screenshots, camera images, etc. If you do that in any form by any means, you will be in violation. It will be reported to us, and the results will be invalidated. That will take you to the student homepage listing all the subtests and rest periods. If you are ready to begin a subtest, you will click the Begin button. However, that will take you to sample questions. The timer will not start until you finish the sample questions. So each subtest has instructions and sample items. You may read the instructions and then the last page of instructions contain a Start Test button. So, in this one, it says travel most nearly means A, stop, B, move, C, join, D, interfere. You will choose the best answer. Since travel most nearly means move, B is the correct answer. You will click on B to the left side of your screen, and then click on Next to go to the next sample item. On the final sample page, they have the question, your response on the left, and then in the upper right-hand corner, the green button that says Start Test. It is circled in red. Once you are finished with all the sample questions, you hit that and begin the exam. While you're navigating the test, you can use the Next button or Previous button. Next button takes you forward one question, Previous takes you back one question, and those are circled in red on the top left-hand side. To answer an item, you click on the button in the shaded area that matches your choice. After you've selected your answer, then you click the Next button to go to the next question. We recommend that you use scratch paper to write down numbers of questions you may have skipped in case you want to return to them if there's time remaining, but you can only return to ones in that particular section. Now, items that do not fit on the screen will be inside a scrollable window, so you can click on the bar, drag up or down to read the full text. Most common in the reading subtest, which contains reading passages, but also the test question is below and will always be visible. If you are using an iPad for the test, you will use the touch screen to scroll. Again, when working on actual test items, there are some additional buttons. Go to, if you want to click the number of a question that you skipped, that will take you directly to that number. In the middle, you will see a button that says Show or Hide Time Remaining. It will give you a countdown to how much time is remaining in that particular subtest. If you would prefer not to see that, you click Hide. And then in the upper right-hand corner is Finish. After you have completed and reviewed all your answers for a subtest, and you are ready to end that test, you click Finish. Once you click Finish, you may not go back to anything in that section. Here's some preparation and troubleshooting hints from the people at Scholastic Testing Services. Be sure your browser is up to date with the most current version. Clear your browser history and cookies prior to testing, especially if you've tested at another school. Try to keep internet traffic in your house to a minimum. Ask other people who live with you to stay off the internet while you are testing. Check your Wi-Fi signal. Again, a high-speed internet connection is required, and if you are on a wired network, that would be even better. Make sure that your device or computer is fully charged and plugged in. During the test, if you experience some issues, you can try to refresh your page, clear your browser history, or use a different browser or device. That's usually a fast, easy way to address browser compatibility issues. You will also be receiving an email from St. Francis, and that will have the number of our technology staff who will be available that day to assist you. Now, we know this is a very different situation than testing in person, but we also know that you are capable of doing this. And we want to wish you the best. Please know that the entrance exam is only one part of our decision that will be factored into your admission. Thank you. Please feel free to contact the admissions office if you have any questions.